Welcome back to Georgia's People to People. The Georgia Special Olympics provides sports training and athletic competition for children and adults with mental retardation. Coming up in a few weeks, hundreds of athletes will compete in the Georgia Special Olympics State Indoor Winter Games. And this year, the games have been moved to Cobb County. And here to tell us more is the Communications and Marketing Director for the Georgia Special Olympics. You should know him by now, Greg Carter. Welcome to Georgia's People to People. It's got to be exciting. It's a new location.
It sure is.
And where's it going to be and how does it work?
Well, we're all over the county, as you mentioned. Of course, we'll be headquartered in the Cobb County Civic Center, and that's where we'll do opening ceremonies on February 18th. But we farm out there. We're in Marietta Middle School. We're in Marietta High School. We're at the Sparkles Roller Rink. We're at Azalea Lanes for bowling, and then the only non-Cobb County venue is the Ice Chalet in Stone Mountain, where we'll be doing the ice skating competition.
Why are the Winter Games so important?
Well, they're important because it gives us another opportunity to bring athletes into a state-level competition. As you know, the Georgia Special Olympics program is comprised really of 221 local Special Olympics programs. And these athletes get to practice every day in their hometown, they get to compete in their hometown, and then they go to area competitions. But there's a lot of benefits that they get from a state-level competition where they can leave their home, travel with their friends, spend the weekend eating in restaurants and living in hotels, and the state level, the Indoor Winter Games give us another opportunity to do that. But it's also a nice contrast with the sports that we offer at the Summer Games. There's one, our program is comprised of children and adults with tremendous ranges of ability. And there are some athletes who can't run, but who, could do other sports that we can offer in the Winter Games. The Winter Games is also a nice combination of team and individual sports. You've got floor hockey, which is a very developed team concept, very similar to soccer or basketball. And then you've got basketball, which is a very developed team concept. But then on the other hand, you've got bowling, which is a very individual sport, and you've got ice skating, which is a very focused and disciplined individual sport. So it's a study in trying to offer as many opportunities as we can for as many people as we can.
And there's real competition. I mean, that basketball team is unbelievable.
Absolutely, and I think you're going to be impressed with what you see this year. If the local and area competitions that I've seen are any indication, we're going to have some good ball played up there.
For folks who may not be involved in Special Olympic programs or may not have athletes involved, what's in it for them? Why should they go out and see it?
It's all, come once. This is what if you just come one time and see this. You and I have, we have some wonderful conversations.
We're hooked, right?
about what we teach the athletes, how we can give of ourselves to the athletes and how good that makes us feel. But these athletes give a lot back to us too. And BJ Karkiff and Lori Berger, and wouldn't you like to be as strong and as focused as BJ Karkiff is, or as spontaneous and compassionate as Lori Berger? I mean, they teach us a lot too, and these are just wonderful people to be around, and they'll touch your life if you give them an opportunity to do that. And
I think it's important, as we've talked about, that they get the support from the community and realize the community cares as well.
Sure, they're a part of our community. They're an integral part of our community, and they're out there working, they're in school, just like the general population is, and they need to be acknowledged and they need to be respected, just like everyone else.
Now, a lot of people think, well, sports, what does that really do? And I'm finding that sports brings out a lot more that helps in life skills as well.
Absolutely. I think, you can't knock physical fitness because we all realize how important that is for everyone. But there's something to be said too about being able to set a goal and then work to attain that goal and then attain that goal and seeing the relationship that those three aspects have in your life. So it's goal setting, of course there's confidence building, there's also the interaction with your peers, there's learning to give and take, and especially in team sports where sometimes the individual sacrifices for the good of the team.
Now, what types of things can folks like you and me, now I'll say I'm on the board of directors, but for people who want to volunteer and to perhaps coach, what types of training do you have for them and opportunities do you have?
Well, Georgia Special Olympics offers a series of coaches training certification schools. This is a year-round program that we do, and the coaches clinics run year-round. I would encourage anyone who's interested in Georgia Special Olympics or becoming involved in the Winter Games to call our office, let us come to your school or to your place of business and talk about how you can become involved. But These volunteer assignments, of course, with the scope of the program we're talking about, have been assigned, months in advance. Those folks who would like to be involved in the Winter Games come out to opening ceremonies at the Cobb County Civic Center at 7 o'clock on Friday the 18th. And see how we begin this thing, and then come back Saturday morning at 7 o'clock and volunteer some of your time. It'll make your life a better thing.
What all can people do as volunteers?
Well, it's like any major sporting event. There's everything from setting up banners, running concessions, getting Powerade for the athletes, and making sure that they have the nourishment and the water that they need. There's a lot of hands-on work with the athletes, making sure that they're loose and ready to run. There's folks who move the food and serve the food. So there's something for everybody. And it's funny because a lot of people want to do the thing that they do at work. They want to work in public affairs, or they want to do medicals, and then a lot of people don't. They say, we get enough of that during the week. I want to do something different. But I'm constantly amazed at the talent that people give our program. You look around the room sometimes when you're with these volunteers, and you think there isn't a corporation in America that could afford to buy the talent that people will give of themselves to Georgia Special Olympics. It says a lot of good things.
And it's a good cause too. How many athletes statewide are generally involved in the program, and what are you doing to look toward the future?
Well, we service right now a constituency of about 21,000 Special Olympics athletes, and those are through the 221 local programs that we run. We'll see about 1,200 of these athletes in Cobb County. And we're looking at this year at doing some real exciting things about taking our program out into the community. We want to look at the resources that are available in the community, whether it's bowling alleys, gymnasiums, tracks, pools, and tailor our program to meet the community resources so that we can increase the number of athletes who are competing there in their hometown. Because it's the practices on a regular basis, and it's the local competitions, and it's the interaction with their friends that begin to see the athletes develop, and it's a good place for them to start to become involved in Special Olympics.
And by then being involved in the community as well through their independent living skills. Thanks so much for being with us. And hopefully that was a great plug for folks to come out. The Georgia Special Olympics Indoor Winter Games will begin with opening ceremonies on Friday, February 18th at the new location at the Cobb Civic Center. Competition will be held Saturday, February 19th and 20th all over. So for more information, call 414-9390.